Hello and welcome to Angels of Purpose Ministries, where we feed your soul food for your soul. And so today, come on out, puppy. All right, so today, we're just going to talk about a few things here. A lot of the United States that's not used to so cold of a temperatures or getting little coldness. Those from the Northeast and Northwest and the Midwest, top of the part of the Midwest, all used to it. I remember living in the Wisconsin and Minnesota. Lived there for about 10 years. So I was there from about 2012 to 2021. So almost 10 years. Almost 10 years there. And that snow and ice, and first learning to drive on those roads, and just a little bit of snow, being like, oh, how am I going to drive? And you know how people think about having to put chains on your tires. People who are used to snow and ice don't do that. They have either all year tires or they switch to their winter tires and drive around in it, and you get used to it as you stay there. Get used to driving in 1 foot of snow regularly, especially in the Northeast, Northwest, and the top of the Midwest. But I can understand people who are not used to it, especially those who are older. Their body's not used to it and have not acclimated to it. I remember I got down to the point where I could just walk out in like a short sleeve shirt and shorts and run outside and throw the, take the trash out and run back in, and I'll be okay. I hardly ever got sick while I was there. Once I got sick, I get sick more now because I'm around more kids. When I was in the Midwest, I was doing a lot of more political work. I waited to come on because I wanted to make sure I had peace and quiet out here taking my puppy dog outside. Had church online today, so able to come on. Not inviting people. I'm only doing Facebook. Then I'll put this on YouTube. So haven't been doing a whole lot during the week as far as talking and everything and bringing in my morning or daily messages. What I'm thinking about doing is doing maybe like a week-long messages, have pre-videos and set them out early in the morning. That may be what I start doing so that I have my morning inspirations to people, or even just seeing how people like it for once or twice a week and having longer periods of time. But I think the quick inspiration is good because attention span, and then you're pulled in different ways and all of that, and just having something that you can catch a hold to inspire you and inspire you is better. At least for me, I like being able to see something that can catch my attention right away. And then I go look at different things because so much is going on in this world today, in the United States. And you need that inspiration, especially if you look at freedom of speech, and maybe not be accepted from some people having freedom of speech. Others, freedom of speech, they do have it, but others may not as much. Since I'm in the fields of in the school systems and trying to talk to people and encourage people, I have to be more strategic and tactful as well when I come on and speak, because we want to get the word out and we want to get information out to people, especially since it's Black History Month. And my first person I'm going to talk about is Sojourner Truth. So if you've watched my podcast before, you know that I've talked about Sojourner Truth quickly at one point in time. But Sojourner Truth was a African-American female. Her ancestors, she might have been one generation away from the continent of Africa, if that. Her parents came, had her, whatever. Or two generations, because she was right before slavery ended. But she did experience slavery. But she also was a woman who did things that in those times, and still sometimes with some people today, people don't expect women to be powerful speakers, to be able to catch people's attention and demand, whatever in the room. Now, I'm going to say this. Like when I go into rooms or different things like that, demanding attention, I have people ask me, like, how do you keep your classroom quiet? How do you do this or do that? Command respect, command attention, not demand it, but command it by how you carry yourself, how you talk, set people's expectations. And what Sojourner Truth did was she knew who she was and whose she was. And she commanded the room because she didn't allow anybody else present to intimidate who she was or what she could do. She didn't allow them to tell her what she could or could not do. When they tried to stop her from freeing other slaves, she did not let that deter her. When she became free, when she escaped and became freed, and then she freed other slaves, and then she didn't allow them to stop her from becoming a woman of God who brought forth the word to help people. Because as we know, people back then in slavery, use people to keep their slaves in subjection to them. That's what they used ministers back then for. And put their slaves in their place. They didn't even think about slaves as people, which was weird because of the things that they would do to the women. So anyway, in retrospect, Sojourner Truth did things. She was a trailblazer, right, in those times. But there's been other times before even Sojourner Truth, history that we may not learn about in the school systems, or may not learn about in history books, that you may have to go out and research for yourselves and search for yourselves about how people of color with brown skin, black skin, created math, created how to do different things all over the world before Europeans even know how to do it. Help with being able to develop things that was more sophisticated before the Europeans even knew anything about it. But if you don't go research and figure that out for yourself, you won't know it. So that's one of the things Angels of Purpose Ministries is set here for, to help make sure that history is not forgotten, that all types and all sorts of history is taught and learned about, whether it's Native American history, whether it's the Mayan history, where there's Hispanics or Mexicans or Spaniards history, where there's European history, where there's African history with all the different countries and how Africa was cut up by the Europeans without even asking any of the African leaders. And then all the African leaders that they thought were a threat, they would make sure they got rid of, because they didn't want the people in Africa to unify and come together, and different things like that. But what I want people to know is, no matter what your skin color, no matter what your race, no matter what your gender, you are beautifully and wonderfully made. You are somebody. You are meant to be here for a purpose, for a reason, to help, to encourage, to do something that only you can do. There's only one you. Other people don't have your thumbprint. You're the only one with your specific DNA. Right? You may have sisters and brothers or cousins or family members who have a similar DNA, but no one specifically with your exact DNA. And so we have to remember that, knowing that we have to uplift people. Sojourner Truth was looking to uplift people, whether they were people of color, whether they were people who were enslaved, free, whoever it was. She wanted people to know that they had the power and the right to live in freedom and walk in freedom, spiritually, naturally, in every sense of the matter. And that's what we have to remember. And not just only during Black History Month, talk about different people, people of color, because we have Black History Month, we have Mexican History Month, we have our Latino or our Hispanic month. We also have, I think, the Native American month now. We do have that as well. But all of these things should be every day. We should be able to learn and talk about the great historians, the great scholars, the great poets, the great writers of all different ethnicities, all different genders, of all different nationalities. That should be an everyday thing. It shouldn't be a wonder that our kids shouldn't be thinking that, oh, only certain groups of people are smart or intelligent, or only certain people talk like this or speak with correct grammar. Or only certain groups of people can become doctors, or only certain groups of people can do this, or whatever it is. Or I heard a thing one time, oh, it's too many black kids in this video, and this came from a black kid. Or it's too many, who cares about learning about black history, came from another black kid again, or different things like that. People should be proud of where they come from, who they come from, and know their greatness and their worth and their value, and know that they should receive respect, but they also should give respect. And when people are empowered from knowing who they are and whose they are, then they will act better, they will treat people better, and know how to lead with love. When they're empowered to love themselves, they can love others. All right, we're going to leave you on that note. I would do a few more things and let you follow me around, but I don't like holding the camera all the time, and I don't like being long-winded, because you can get a message out to people quickly. It doesn't take all day. It doesn't take 30 minutes. It doesn't take an hour. And I think sometimes that's when people lose folks, when you're too long-winded in your message. Matter of fact, people walk or believe more so in how you live than than what you say. Does your words back up the way you act? Do your actions back up your words, right? All right, so you all have a blessed and prosperous day. Remember, everybody has greatness in them. Everyone. Sojourner Truth spoke up to have people to be free in their mind and their thought process, free in their physical person, free of slavery of the mind, free of slavery from being chattels to other people. So don't be a slave in your mind. Have the freedom to be able to know that you are somebody, to know that you can empower somebody, uplift somebody, and be that and do that. Have a great and blessed and prosperous day.